So good day. We are now on the topic adjustments. So we'll proceed or we'll begin with the asset and expense method. Now, these prepaid expenses and deferred expenses, these are expenses that are paid in advance. Okay, since the benefits will be received in the future, they are recorded as assets. They are expected to become expenses over time through the use and consumption. It is the exact opposite of accrued expenses. Okay, take note of that. At the end of the period, it is necessary to determine the portion of such expenses that applies to the subsequent period and the portion used up during the current period. So the used up portion is an expense while the unused portion is an asset. So examples include prepaid rent, prepaid insurance, and prepaid interest. So the adjusting entries for prepaid expenses depend upon the method used to record them. So we have here asset method and expense method. Now, if we are using asset method under this method class, ayan. So the account debited upon payment is an asset account, meaning we are recognizing all of the uh, payment as an asset. Upon adjustment, an expense account is debited with a corresponding credit to an asset account. Thus, it recognizes the expense and decreases the previously recorded asset for the used portion. Okay? So since we are using the asset method according to what we have heard kanina, we are recognizing all of the payment as an prepaid or as an asset. Okay? Since they are payment in advance. And after which, if we are going to adjust now, okay, since all of this at the end of the period is not an asset anymore because some of this portion will be used or incurred, that is why this we are now recognizing expense with a corresponding decrease on the asset. Okay. While in the expense method, okay, so, kabaliktaran siya ng asset method, okay? Kasi yung expense method, the account is debited upon payment, okay? There is an expense account. So, we are recognizing expense upon payment. Upon adjustment, an asset account is debited and an expense account is credited. So, thus, it recognizes the asset account and decreases the previously recorded expense for the unused portion. So, that is clear. Okay? When we are using the expense method, yan, all the payment will be used or recognized as an expense. But at the end of the period, since all of this will not be or will never be incurred, so hindi ito lahat expense, kaya babawasan natin siya through recognition of an asset account. Okay? So there is a recognition of an asset account and then there is a decrease in expense kasi nga na-credit siya. Okay, to have or to understand further of this, let's have this an example. Okay. We'll have first the prepaid expenses. On August 1, on the current year, ABC Company paid an advance rental on the space of a building it occupies in the amount of 120,000. Now, in adjusting entries or in adjusting process, we have to be careful of the date and the amount. Okay? So the date here is August 1. Then may advance rental sa ABC Company for about 120,000. So the amount covers how many years or months? It's 1 year. Rent paid in advance during the month of August. Now, let's have first asset method. Okay. In asset method, we are recognizing all of the advance payment as an asset. Kaya nga dito, on original entry during August 1, this is August 1, let's change this. Ayan. During August 1, we are recognizing prepaid asset. Okay. Ayan. Prepaid rent. Okay, that is an asset, 120. And credit cash as payment of the advance payment. Okay. So that's 120. Now, ang tinatanong dito is, ano yung adjusting entry natin during December 31? Okay. Now, lagay muna natin siya dito sa T account natin. 120,000 as prepaid rent. Okay, so I have here a schedule. Since yung 120 will be good for 1 year, if magsa-start siya from August, mag-e-end siya next year, July. Okay? So every month, there will be an expired portion of the advance payment, 10,000 per month. Now, hanggang December lang naman tayo. So therefore, out from the asset or the prepaid, okay, or the payment in advance ng 120, ang expired portion po natin doon is from August hanggang December. Ito. That is why, itong period na to, ito yung magiging expense natin. Now, under accrual basis of accounting kasi, we will only recognize expense if is incurred. So, meaning kapag na-incurred natin, na-consume natin. Now, in this problem, ang na-consume lang natin is only 5 months. Okay? From August, September, October, November, and December. So, dapat yung rent natin na advance should not be anymore 120,000 kasi hindi na yan lahat advance payment. May na-expire na dyan. May na-consume na sa ABC company and how many months? 5 months. That is why babawasan natin siya. To decrease an asset, we need to credit asset. Okay? Kaya dito sa adjusting entry natin, binawasan natin yung prepaid rent. Okay? Na credit siya on this part. By how much? 50,000 pesos. Ayan. To reflect the new amount of prepaid rent. Okay? Or the unexpired portion from January to July. How many months? Kaya ayan. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Okay? So that is 7 months. Okay. So, ang debit natin is rent expense. Kasi nga, we have to recognize the expired portion. Okay. So, that will be our adjusting entry for uh, using asset method. Okay. So we debit rent expense to recognize the expired portion, and we decrease the prepaid rent by 50,000. Now, if we're going to update the T account, so we need to decrease prepaid rent by how much? 50,000 pesos. Okay. If we're going to cross-put this one, so ang magiging answer natin, 120 minus 50,000, that would be 70,000. Okay. Ayan. 70,000. Okay. So therefore, itong 70,000 will be our prepaid or the unexpired portion, which is represented by this figure. So that is 7 months and that is 70,000. Okay. Now we debit an expired portion for 50,000 pesos rent expense. Saan to? Dito na schedule itong expired amount. O, di ba? Madali lang. So, when we are using asset method, recognize muna natin siya lahat asset, and at the end, i-record natin yung expired portion. Yan. Okay? So, how about if we are going to use expense method? Okay, same problem pa din. Okay, but the method is different. Now, expense method. Under this method, we are recognizing all of the advance payment as an expense. Okay, ano kayang perspective dito ng owner? It's because makukonsume naman kasi natin yan later on. Kaya i-expense na lang natin. Okay, during August 1, mali pa din yung date natin. Be careful of the date. August 1. Okay, so during August 1, we recognize our advance payment as a rent expense. Okay. So we credit cash as payment for the advance. Okay? So what about our adjusting entry on December 31? Take note, from August to December, we only consume 5 months, meaning 50,000 lang yung expired portion. The rest, 70,000 will be unexpired portion. Now, tingnan natin yung entry natin. Na-expense natin lahat. Now, magkano lang talaga yung tunay na expense? It's only 50,000. That is why we need to adjust. Now, itong lahat ng 120,000 is not an expense kasi may mga unexpired portion pa dyan. Therefore, our adjusting entry is that we have to recognize an asset, which is prepaid rent. By how much? Ilan kaya to? This is 7 months and that is 70,000. Kaya, we debit prepaid rent 70,000 and credit, okay, para mabawasan to, okay, to decrease an expense, we need to credit that one. Therefore, nag-credit tayo ng rent expense 70,000 pesos to record the or to record the decrease, okay, of your rent. Ayan, on August 1 or during August 1. Ayan. So, let's just have this guide lang for you to determine if ano ba yung expired tsaka unexpired portion. Now, if we're going to put it on a T account, okay? So, we recognize 120,000 during August 1. Okay? 120. Okay. So, this, at the end of the period, this 120,000 is not, okay, 120,000. It is overstated kasi nga ang expired portion lang dapat is 5 months, which is 50. So dapat mag-reflect na sa atin dito is only 50,000, right? Therefore, babawasan natin siya ng 70,000 to make it only 50,000. Okay? So, kaya tayo nag-credit ng rent expense. Tingnan. Ayan, nakuha ninyo. Okay, kaya tayo nag-credit ng rent expense. It's because we need to decrease the rent and able to reflect the true expired portion of the advance payment. Okay? So, ayan. And we recognize the asset portion, which is 70,000 pesos. There you have it. Now, if we're going to compare the two methods, ayan, using the asset method, we are just using asset, or we record it as an asset, while here we record it as an expense. Now, pagdating naman sa adjusting entry, we recognize rent, or we recognize expense, while here we recognize an asset. Okay? See the difference? And so, there you have it, the asset and expense method. So, see you next meeting for our next video tutorial. Bye.